What's up, guys, and welcome to the April the 6th WWE Raw review. And I'll be talking a little bit about the Chris Jericho podcast with John Cena as well, giving you my thoughts on what matches I expect to happen at Extreme Rules, etc. Ones that have been announced, ones that haven't. And yeah, just my thoughts on Raw. Now, I will go through segment by segment. I'm going to give you a kind of my thoughts on the show, and I'm going to start grading shows. I don't know how I'm going to do it, whether I'm going to grade it out of 10. I don't know how I'm going to grade and rate shows. I'll think of an idea, I'll think of a way of grading Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, etc. in the next coming days. I'll just do it out of 10 today. I'll try and think of another way. I'll have a quick look on the internet, see what ways people are grading things, and just kind of get my own system as such that I think is appropriate. And I'll start grading the shows so I can give you a true, what I truly thought of the show. So yeah, I'll work on that in the next coming days and see what I can come up with. But yeah, today, well, we'll go through it segment to segment, and I'll speak a little bit at the end. We open the show then with the Authority. I'm bored of the Authority. I'm bored of the Authority. Because the reason I think it is, the main reason, is because it's the same old crap each and every week. We get this similar sort of, obviously it's not the same segment, but a similar segment. It seems like we get it every single week. It seems that we get it every SmackDown, and now it's Randy Orton. It used to be Cena who used to, and I just find it boring. I don't like Kane. I don't like Big Show. They're too old. They need to leave. I don't like their characters. They're not good in the ring. They're terrible in the ring. It's not. Let's be honest. They're absolutely terrible. They seem to be as well. That obviously Seth Rollins is the main heel in the company, but them two are just matches and matches and pushed and made to look strong, etc. They're shit. They're absolute shit. I'm sorry. Kane as the corporate Kane is terrible. You do not want to watch him. As the big red monster, as the masked Kane, he's somebody that, yeah, to be fair, you do want to watch. He ain't great in the ring because he's getting on, but he is somebody that you kind of want to watch. Big Show has lost everything for me. The amount of heel turns and face turns he's had, I've lost the plot with Big Show. Rollins, to be fair though, he carried the segment. He made the segment decent. I love him as their champion. He's really good at playing that kind of what's the word, like the self-centered, arrogant champion. I like Seth Rollins. I think he's great, but I am a little bit bored of the Authority and just this same old structures to Raw and SmackDown each and every week, with the Authority opening the show with the same old shit. It's boring as fuck. I don't know when they're going to end the Authority. I really don't. I hope it's soon. I thought, to be honest with you, foolishly, that it was Sting Triple H at WrestleMania when we knew it was going to happen after the Survivor Series, and I was thinking what they'll do then once the Authority came back. I thought Sting will get the Authority out of power at WrestleMania if he beats Triple H. I thought he would, and I thought Sting would have got them out of power, and then I'll tell you who I'd love running Raw and SmackDown. I know it would probably never happen. Paul Heyman. Can you imagine him as a general manager? I know it wouldn't work with Brock Lesnar at the moment being his advocate, but can you just imagine Paul Heyman as champion? But anyway, as the GM, but not necessarily take away the Authority. Just think about it. Don't necessarily wipe out the Authority. At least change the shit up. At least, I don't know whether turning them face will do anything or whatever. Or just do it. Just do it differently. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon weren't there. When they're there, it's a bit better. It's a bit better. But having Kane and Big Show as the main two, it's just terrible. I mean, I could moan about it all day. But essentially, that segment set up a main event. Right, Randy Orton, Ryback, and Roman Reigns. Triple threat winner goes on and faces Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules. It was so predictable, and that was my bugbear of Raw. It was so predictable. The whole show was so predictable, and you might be sitting to yourself and thinking, was it? I literally, and I'm not kidding you, I predicted the outcome of literally most of the matches. It was so predictable. I know Raws are, but this just felt like it was such a... That triple threat, I knew for a fact Randy Orton was going to win. I didn't quite know how. I knew he was going to win. And like usually, a triple threat like that for the #1 contender. I can remember a couple of years ago, there used to be like triple threat and fatal fours. And maybe it was because I was younger and I didn't know as much as I do now. But I used to be pumped for them. When there was like a triple threat at the end of Raw, main event, winner faces, usually fucking Cena, at the next pay-per-view, I was part of, you just couldn't wait because I didn't have a clue who was going to win. And that's the big thing with WWE at the moment that's annoying me. With Raws and SmackDown, it is so predictable. It really is, and it's boring as hell. Anyway, the next match we got was Randy Orton Kane. This was just terrible. Like, the match didn't last very long at all. Thank Christ, because I'd probably fell asleep. It ended in disqualification. I'm just bored. I'm just bored of this whole Kane and Big Show in every match, every single Raw and bloody SmackDown. Whether it's them battling, it always feels like it's Kane, Big Show, Ryback, Roman Reigns. They're all fighting each other all the fucking time, and I'm sick to bloody death of it. The matches are terrible. The match with Kane and Randy Orton was terrible. And that's not Randy Orton's fault. It's Kane's fault. And it's not Kane's fault necessarily because... Well, it is his fault because he just... I'm sorry, but he ain't got it anymore. This spot should be... I don't know who, but somebody else should get this spot. Why have we got to see Kane versus Randy Orton? And Roman Reigns versus Big Show again? And, you know, Ryback and Luke Harper, at least that was... And I've got a problem with that match, which I'll get onto a little bit later. But at least that was unique as such. That's all I asked for, is a bit of uniqueness, a bit of variety, and we didn't get that. It was a terrible match. It ended with Kane hitting Randy Orton with a chair, causing a disqualification. It was, I suppose, to set up the story that Orton might not go into the main event 100% fit. You know, he'd go into it trying to make it so it's not predictable that he wins, which it still fucking was, but. Then he went into the main event and he didn't show any signs of him being hurt or whatever. I mean, let's be realistic. Being hit by a chair once is not going to cause that much damage, is it? You know, fuck my life. Anyway, I'll try and skip to the next page and see what happened next. I can't because at the moment, me bloody, it's gone funny. Let me try and load it on another page. But, I mean, like I say, it's not... Kane's done a lot. Kane and the Big Show have done a lot. And I take nothing away from that, and I'm not trying to, you know, I know that they used to, you know, Kane and Big Show a few years ago were great. Kane and The Undertaker, that storyline a few years ago, a Buried Alive match, I think it was at Bragging Rights, I think it's 2010 or 2011, I enjoyed that, 2010 I think it was, I enjoyed that, and I know some people probably didn't like that storyline, but I enjoyed that storyline, I thought it was good. That was when I liked Kane, that was when Kane was a monster, when he was a beast. Team Hell No, even then, Kane, I liked Kane. I don't like him now. The Big Show, don't like him anymore. Unfortunately, they've gone past the sell-by date, in my opinion, and that is how I'm feeling with it. But we then had Seth Rollins versus Adrian Neville. I'm not going to sit here and call him Neville. It sounds so ridiculous. Why the hell did they have to take away the first name? I don't moan too much about the product, to be honest. I'm quite somebody who's like, yeah, that was. When it's an average show, most people will be like, oh, that was shit, this is shit, blah blah blah, the correct team is shit. I'm usually the person to sit there and go, oh, it was alright, but I'm sick of doing that. I'm just going to say it as it is, and, you know, because there's no point in trying to make it sound better than what it was. With that being said, this match was actually quite good. They established Seth Rollins. This was one of the only things in the night they got right. They established Seth Rollins as a credible champion. Congratulations. Give him a win over Neville. They all... I've called him Neville, haven't I? They all... I'm going to have to, aren't I? I've got to get used to it. They also, though, made Neville look good. They made him look like a big guy. They made him look like something that should be taken seriously. I don't know what he's going to go for next, Neville. Obviously, he's not going to go for the championship. I understand that. What he's going to go for, I'm not so sure. Don't know who he's going to feud with, whatever. I don't think there'll be too much for him at Extreme Rules. I think it will probably be after. Hopefully he goes to... I don't know whether the Intercontinental United States Championship is the right way to go with him. I suppose it probably is. Something to do with that. You know, he is a dark horse for the Money in the Bank. And I'll probably do a video on who, at this early stage, I know Money in the Bank is a couple of months off, but who I think deserves, who I think would benefit from winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, and who I'd be pissed off with if they won it, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I mean, this match, it was a great match. Them two, they're great to go. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't like extraordinary matchup, but he'd done the job. It looked good. He'd done another great match. He's got that click with the crowd as Adrian Neville, which I expected him to have. He's fantastic in NXT. He finally gets his chance. This match was fantastic. The way they booked it was pretty damn good. The way Seth Rollins, I think he called him like basically just mocking him at the start, saying, you know, what are you doing in the ring with me? It was fantastic. It really was. And it could have been a squash match. It could have gone like not through a commercial break, and it could have made Adrian Neville look shit. But instead, it made Neville look strong. It made Seth Rollins look a credible champion. Seth Rollins got a clean victory of sorts, although there was a little bit of an interference by J&J Security, but I wouldn't say that cost it. I wouldn't say that cost it at all, really. So yeah, that happened essentially. A good match, a good segment. Now, I'm going to say it now while it's fresh in my mind. I like Byron Saxton, but I don't like him as a main commentator. I didn't like the trio, and I don't usually like the trio on Raw for commentary. And I know I've been craving Michael Cole to be off the show, but I kind of missed his voice in a weird, fucked up way. I know we've been like craving for it to be different on the commentary, but then when Michael Cole went this week, it felt weird, and like it did last week. Byron Saxton was better than what he was last week. Last week he was shite, even though to be fair though, he's on his own. And you ask anybody to commentate on Raw on their own, they would struggle. JR would be alright with it, but JR would be alright with anything. Booker T I like. I like Booker T. JBL, not for me. I just want to see Tom Phillips. I want to see Renee Young. I don't also Renee. I want to see her. I want to see Byron Saxton, but I don't think Byron Saxton is the main one. Commentary, I thought that lacked tonight. I think that kind of put a damper on the show for me, and it made the show a bit worse than what it was. The crowd weren't fantastic either. You know, it's a shame, like I say, and it's gonna. The crowd will be great next week because it's in England, it's in Britain. We always give you a good crowd. We always have a good crowd. Like when I went one year, I wanted to go this year, but I ordered tickets the wrong time. I'll definitely be going next year, or maybe even November if I can get to Birmingham. It's such an experience, and we were like, I think it was CM Punk, Chris Jericho were feuding. They were doing that. Chris Jericho was accusing Punk of, I think it was he accusing him of drinking alcohol or something like that. And we were chanting fish and chips, and you know, when Mark Henry came out, sexual choice. It was fantastic. It was absolutely. We had Mark Henry, CM Punk WWE Championship match that opened the show. Like, there's the variety right there. When was the last time Monday Night Raw opened with a match? That's what I'm talking about at the start of the show, why we keep on these Authority and John Cena promos. Start with a match. It doesn't have to be a WWE Championship match. Just start with something different. It just drives you mad how it's the same crappy start each and every bloody week. But yeah, we had that. That was brilliant. And the crowd, it just made the show better. And I'm not saying that there are some great, like Pittsburgh, I can't even say it properly, where the Royal Rumble was. That was fantastic. Last San Jose, Raw after WrestleMania, always Raw after WrestleMania is fantastic. Chicago's always brilliant. Where's Summit? Oh bloody hell, that's gonna annoy me. Staples Center, that's always good. There are loads of good, that are really good, but then you go to some, like the Fastlane venue was terrible. The crowd there was shite. They really, really were. And that doesn't help the show. A crowd that is hot, a crowd that is chanting, makes a shite show good. It really does. And I mean, they did chant a little bit, but I just wish crowds would be a bit more alive. I wish crowds would be a bit more alive. Now I've said about what I've said about the UK, will probably be no reaction next week on Raw, and I'll look like a fool. But anyway, so yeah, back to what I was saying. The commentary needs to, I don't know what they're going to do with that. It just didn't feel right tonight, I'm afraid. Anyway, we're going to move on to the Open Challenge, John Cena vs Stardust. When you announce a championship match at the Extreme Rules, John Cena vs Rusev, it's quite clearly obvious that John Cena is not going to lose. Like, it would, even if they haven't announced that, you'd probably expect John Cena not to lose. But even still, there'd still be that kind of unpredictableness to it. It was Stardust. I'm glad he got a match. John Cena and Stardust done pretty well, in my opinion. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was match tonight, I'm not sure. AJ Neville, Seth Rollins or John Cena versus Stardust. It's a difficult one, but it was a good match. And you know what? No, I'll talk about that towards the end, I suppose, of the video. But Stardust looked very, very good. There was a couple of great moves, and I bloody love that springboard stunner, if that's what they're going to call it now, from John Cena. That is unbloody believable. I flipping love it. And again, I'll talk about this a bit more at the end of the thing with the whole Cena podcast, etc. I like the open challenge. I think it's a good idea. I don't like the fact that you announce a pay-per-view match, John Cena versus Rusev for the United States Championship, yet you still do the open challenge, and you still obviously believe that people are going to believe that John Cena is realistically could lose. Nobody's going to believe that, and if they do, then okay, I'm wrong. But surely nobody over the age of 10 honestly believed John Cena would lose. And that's what I mean. It's Seth Rollins, AJ Neville. I knew Neville wouldn't win. Randy Orton, Big Show. I knew Kane. I knew Kane quite clearly was not gonna win. I knew it would end like that. I knew it would end in a screwy way. I knew he'd end up disqualification. And oh, it's just boring as fucking it. Anyway, Bella Twins versus Naomi and Paige just weren't great, to be honest with you. There was a few botches in this match. Naomi, that finisher at the end. I don't know whether Nikki Bella fucked it up. I don't know whether she fucked up. I don't know whether she hit it a bit hard and then was like, oh shit. I don't know fucking, but it sucked. It was shit. It really was. Like, again, they got a bit more time. There's no real story to any of the Divas matches at the moment. Not like in NXT. Naomi versus Nikki Bella is obviously going to be Extreme Rules. That's what I'm feeling. I'll talk a bit more about the end of the match. But yeah, to be honest, this wasn't a great match in my opinion. It wasn't one of the best Divas matches of recent memory, but we'll move on. Luke Harper versus Ryback. I'm so happy that they put two different people in a matchup, so it wasn't just Ryback versus Big Show or Ryback versus Kane, and then they go and do a 2-minute matchup. Ryback wins, predictable. We all know Luke Harper's not going to win. Now, if Luke Harper's going on to face Dean Ambrose at Extreme Rules, as I feel in a tables match, why have him get squashed? Because that's essentially what happened here against Ryback. I understand you've got to get Ryback to win because he's got to look good for the main event. Fine. I understand that's probably got to happen. But at least give Luke Harper a segment to look really good and to make him look strong even though he loses, which we found out is possible with Adrian Neville earlier on in the night. Don't give him like a minute of attacking Ryback and then Ryback out of nowhere hitting a shell shock. I mean, for me, it's just pathetic. Or have Ryback and Luke Harper go at it and Dean Ambrose come out and interrupt. We didn't have Dean Ambrose on this show. We didn't have Dolph Ziggler. We didn't have Daniel Bryan, Bad News Barrett. I'm missing somebody. We had Bray Wyatt, but not in action. We were short on people in action tonight. I don't know whether they're out on a... I don't know what's going on. They can't surely be doing a live event because it's the UK now, isn't it? So, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that. But we were short on stars. It was a terrible, terrible match. It wasn't a terrible match. What they'd done in the match wasn't bad, but it just didn't have enough time to make it anything that would... I probably won't even remember it tomorrow. That's how bad it was. We then had the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons. I like the New Day in their green gear. I don't like the New Day. The whole thing is fucked up. It's good that they've finally turned into a heel, and it might save them of sorts. And this is another thing of the great show. But the Lucha Underground, Jesus Christ, I love that show, but that's not what I'm talking about. Lucha Dragons. I don't know, but I'm actually looking forward to the... I hope Tyson Kidd versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Lucha Dragons happens at Extreme Rules. That'll be an unbelievable match. And I don't know, but I feel maybe I like Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Lucha Dragons beat them. But there is a kind of new feel, a kind of fresh feel to the tag team division. I'm feeling. Kalisto's amazing. Sin Cara's pretty good as well, even though it's not the original Sin Cara, but we could talk about that all day. His finisher, is it the Swanton thing? The thing he done at the end, Sin Cara, bloody brilliant, loved it. And I like the whole New Day. I like the fact the New Day suck chant hopefully is regimented, and I like the way they spun off it. I thought that was good. I thought that was decent segment, decent match. One of the good things of Raw. Roman Reigns versus the Big Show. Why show us a match? Like, I thought the first time you do it, you realise it's shit. Big Show versus Roman Reigns. Okay. fine. Most people in the world would go, if you do something for the first time and it's shit, you don't do it again. Okay, fair enough. So you think the first time it's shit, we'll try again. It's still shit. Everybody in the world, bar WWE, would then go, let's not try it again. What did WWE do? They try it for the third time. It's still shit. Fourth time, it's still shit. Why are they going to get into their heads that this has happened like 10 times? That this match is shit. If they're trying to put Roman Reigns over, if they're trying to make Roman Reigns get a connection with the fans, don't have him go up against the bloody Big Show. Big Show sells a spear so shit, it's unbelievable. The logic with these people is just unbelievable. How can they can't seriously try and explain to me, the WWE created, that this is a good, interesting match, that they actually enjoyed watching this. How could anybody in the world enjoy watching Roman Reigns versus the Big Show? I just do not understand it. It's making Roman Reigns look shit. Big Show is shit. As I say, it's making Roman Reigns look absolutely crap because he can't do anything in the match. Because, you know, how can he do you struggle to do a Samoan drop on Big Show. You struggle to do this. He's not got any movement, particularly as Big Show. He walks around at fucking turtle pace. Or is it tortoise? I don't know which one's slow. Snail pace. There we go. Goodness gracious me. It just pisses me off. It really does. And guess who won? Roman Reigns. Well, that wasn't obvious. So yeah, why not have Roman Reigns go up against, let me try and think of somebody. And you might think, oh, he's taking long. We can't think of anybody. Bad News Barrett. Or, I don't know, because the WWE are disabled and they can't actually build up any characters. They only have about 8 characters at a time that are actually mean anything. But have him go up against anybody but the bloody Big Show. Sheamus, probably not, because Sheamus is doing something else. And this is another problem, because they haven't built up enough characters and the roster's so bleak because they don't care about talents like Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, even the likes of Big E. They don't give a crap about them and just shit on their faces. We then have crap like this. And we have to sit through crap like this. If they built up a Cesaro or they built up a Big E into a mid-card, I mean, I think they could. I think Cesaro certainly could be something a lot bigger than that. But then at least you could have Roman Reigns versus Cesaro and it would be a good match. Probably would be a predictable outcome. You will expect Roman Reigns to win if he's heading into a main event for the thing. Yeah, I understand that. So it was probably, and the show was going to be predictable. It always was going to be, whoever they faced. But at least it would be a good match. I mean, for crying out loud. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that. We now had Sheamus versus Mark Henry. The match itself wasn't great. The Sheamus promo before was brilliant. Sheamus is a great heel. It's becoming a legitimate thing. Seems like he's going to go after Dolph Ziggler. Fine. Bringing out Mark Henry. Sheamus has got a character now that people legitimately will despise him, which is the idea of a heel. He beat Mark Henry cleanly. That's good. I like to see heels win cleanly. I don't know what they're going to do with Mark Henry. The match again wasn't great. It didn't get much time, but it was alright. It done the job. One of the segments which was alright on Raw tonight. Fuck, I've moaned a lot, haven't I? Jesus Christ, I don't know how long this video is. It's going to be quite a long, yeah, 23 minutes, probably one of the longest videos. We then had The Miz versus Damien Mizdow. Why the fuck have this match on Raw? One of the most exciting, you could build this up, They could have, I'll tell you what, because we didn't need another match particularly. Because this match was nothing special anyway. You could have had Miz and you could have had, or Damien Mizdow come out, he should be Sandow, that's another topic for another day, come out and have a face-to-face promo with each other, calling each other out, build up that tension. But don't have them in a bloody match, because then you get to Extreme Rules and these two haven't laid hands on each other. And it's about Damien Mizdow finally getting his chance to lay hands on Miz, and that means that people really do care about the Extreme Rules match. Now, you've had a match like this, it's ended in controversial fashion, which obviously means it is going to a match at Extreme Rules. Miz rolling up with a schoolboy pin, holding Miz Styles tight while he's doing it obviously leads to a match at Extreme Rules. I understand that. I'm not stupid. But why do it? Why the hell do it? I just cannot understand for the life of me. They've done it with Goldust and Stardust, Fastlane, and then they obviously didn't end up doing it at WrestleMania. But they've done it before. They've done it before with stuff, and it's just, oh, for God's sake. Again, there's just no logic to it, but there we go. It pissed me off a little bit, and I really want Damien Sandow to go back to Damien Sandow rather than Mizdow. Because if not, eventually when this feud ends, Mizdow's not going to do anything because he's not going to be anything. He's just going to be the Mizdow, you know what I mean? So he's got to change that. The main event, for me, flopped. It was... I didn't like the whole Authority getting involved and the whole knocking out bloody Roman Reigns, setting up possibly a Roman Reigns Big Show match. And I'll talk a bit about that in a minute, but oh God. Oh God, it makes me want to cry. We had a Bray Wyatt promo, to be fair, before that, and I haven't mentioned that on here, calling somebody out. People are saying it could be, and if you want to mute it and you don't want to even have any ideas of who it was, none of this is confirmed, it's just what people are saying. There's possibility of Ryback. Fucking hell, I wouldn't want to see that personally. Roman Reigns. I wouldn't mind that, but after what we saw tonight with the whole Big Show, I can't see that myself. They're the two that people are saying are the most likely at the moment, and probably the only ones really. It was so bad. Orton hit Ryback with the RKO. So it was a predictable win for Orton. Heads into the most predictable match in Extreme Rules history with Orton, which is going to be a great match. I doubt that Randy Orton will win. And that's another thing. The only problem with having 3 new champions is the fact that it's not predictable that they're going to win, because it wouldn't surprise me if one of them does lose at the next pay-per-view, but you kind of... I don't know. I just kind of think that, oh God, it's so predictable. Obviously, I don't think Cena will lose. I don't think they'll take the title off Bryan. I don't really think they'll take the title off Seth Rollins. But I suppose it isn't predictable, because I could still see it going another way. So no, perhaps I'm wrong with that, and forget I even said that. But yeah, this match was great. It didn't get any time at all. I don't know whether they overran or whether this always is the plan to have this main event and not particularly, not a particularly long length, but wow, the show in general was poor for me. Some people are calling it an average show. For me, it was a bad show. Out of 10, and this is a terrible way of rating it, and I will think of another way. I might go with the old Bleacher Report's way of rating segments. We'll go with out of 10. 10 being the best. 1 being like, that was just literally made you want to kill yourself and jump out the window. I'm going to give it like a 3 or a 4. That was really bad. Like last week's Raw, to put it in consideration if I went with this rating system, would be a solid 8. It was a good Raw. Wasn't, like, to get a 9 or a 10, like, I don't think I'll ever say it was a 10. Like, WrestleMania was a 9, 9.5. Like, to give a show a 10, it would have to be like, I don't think there's ever been a show that's a 10. 9.5 would probably be Money in the Bank. The most recent 9.5 I'd give going with this rating system would be a Money in the Bank 2011. It was Punk Cena. I think it was the pay-per-view where Daniel Bryan won the Money in the SmackDown Money in the Bank. That would be a 9.5. Sorry about that. I don't know what I was actually saying. I think I was talking about Money in the Bank. That would be the 9.5 2011 one. That's the most recent one that I'd give a 9.5 as such. So yeah, Raw is boring. It was hard to watch. It was without shadow of doubt. If you haven't seen Raw, I wouldn't watch it. I would not watch it. When I just watch whatever they upload on YouTube, the 2-3 minutes. I would not waste your time. I really wouldn't. And at the moment, I'm kind of enjoying SmackDown. Right, that's actually lie. I was about to say I'm enjoying SmackDown more. I'm not. If SmackDown's worse than what Raw was tonight, then Christ alive, it's going to be bad. I will try and do SmackDown reviews as much as I can. But yeah, matches at Extreme Rules then, what I'm feeling. It's been announced Rollins vs Orton. stipulation, no holds barred. I don't really know what that would be. Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan has been announced at Extreme Rules as well. Again, I don't know what stipulation that would be. John Cena versus Rusev. Obviously, I think that'll probably be last man standing. Ziggler versus Sheamus, I'm feeling. Don't know what that will be about. Don't know what stipulation, sorry, that will be about. Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper is another match, tables match. And I think it will be The Big Show versus Roman Reigns, and then Bray Wyatt versus Ryback. And then Naomi versus Nikki Bella. And then on the pre-show, they'll have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus Lucha Dragons. I don't honestly know whether I can sit through Big Show and Roman Reigns. Like, it's difficult because I live in the UK. The pay-per-views come on at 1, and they're like 1 in the morning, and they don't finish till 4. I got school next, so I've got to be up by 6. So I'll finish watching the pay-per-view, go to bed at like 4:30, because I can't sleep, usually because it's so shit. It's like the Royal Rumble. I was just sitting there like, what the fuck have I just sat through? You wake up at 6, I'm tired as fuck, and you're like to yourself, you know, is this even worth it? Like, most of the time it is. Like, Fastlane, I enjoyed it. TLC, surprisingly enough, I enjoyed it. Royal Rumble, to be fair, I enjoyed it. And I'll always do it for every pay-per-view. But it's just kind of annoying when you're sitting there at like 1, and then you're thinking to yourself, what have we got to look forward to? And then you look on the clock and you're like, it's 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock, and you're tired as fuck. You're looking forward to the main event, and then Roman Reigns and Big Show comes on, and you're just like, I'm literally going to struggle to, you know, stay awake. So I'm going to have to, like, eat something at that time, you know, like eat some eclairs or something to keep me awake, because it is going to be boring as hell. Hopefully it lasts about 2 minutes. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling at the moment. It would be a decent Roman Reigns card. It would be a decent Extreme Rules card, bar than that match. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling at the moment for the pay-per-view. So yeah, I think it would be actually quite a good card. I just don't think the Roman Reigns Big Show thing would be very good at all. They did actually announce talk a little bit about AJ in the show, which was good. AJ obviously retired, which is obviously sad. And they were doing the whole "Thank you AJ" hashtag etc. issue, a little thing. So that was nice for WWE to do that. But then I'm going to move on now to, I'm going to stop talking about Raw because that was terrible. What recovered the night was the podcast after with Chris Jericho. It wasn't as good as the McMahon one. And McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was brilliant. But it was probably on par. It was different to the Triple H one. I probably enjoyed it a little bit more, but it's probably because it's fresh in my mind. But it was good. And I love John Cena as down to earth John Cena. He's a really nice guy in real life. I don't like John Cena. You know what though? This podcasting is weird. I've never hated Cena, but I used to absolutely love him. I don't love him as much anymore, but I do really. I'm starting to like him again. It's weird, just from this podcast. I thought the podcast was good. I thought the podcast was great. I thought Chris Jericho asked some good questions, you know, about the heel turn, etc. Cena answered honestly. Cena, you know, he didn't seem to hold anything back. You know, he said that the superstars need to take risks, and you have to agree with him. People, they do need to start taking risks. But no, I thought the podcast was by far 10 times better than Raw. I would have probably predicted that before anyway. And no, I just thought, and I like Cena like that. If he could somehow do that, it kind of gives you a whole new side to Cena, and you see that kind of really nice guy that he is. The fact that the whole heel change thing, that he doesn't want to turn heel because or he doesn't mind turning heel, but you know, blah. I just think he's brilliant. He's not the best in-ring worker. He hasn't got the greatest character in the world at the moment. I think anybody could tell you that. But John Cena in real life is a pretty nice guy. And Chris Jericho, as I say, answered the question. I enjoyed the podcast more than I enjoyed Raw. But that is basically, essentially it for this bloody long Raw review. And podcast review, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's gone past 30 minutes, which is one of the longest videos. But anyway, that is essentially it. Probably tomorrow I will do a video where I'll be saying who I think should win, who I think would benefit from winning the Money in the Bank, who I don't think would benefit, etc. I'll do a video like that tomorrow. Who I think, and then I might do another video the following week or some point this week where I kind of talk about who I think needs a heel change or a face change or needs a repackaging to kind of make them, if that makes any sense. So like, for example, random superstar just going to come off, and this is not going to be, let's use Yoshi Totsu, who's not even in the WWE anymore. I, for example, would be saying I think he needs to become a heel or go in a faction, and I think that would work, blah blah blah. So essentially that's what I'll be doing. Ways of repackaging, ways of making people like Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, what I would do if I was in charge of WWE to make them mean something again, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying they don't mean anything, but become a big time player, freshen them up. You know, I think that all three of them people I've mentioned, they are top talents. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt especially, amazing. But they have not, because of the way they've been booked, they've been shat on, and it's made them look like a crap, essentially. And the ways we can remake them, I don't even know if that makes sense. But I'll do some sort of video like that in a couple of videos in the next few days. So yeah, that's what you can look forward to. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here for reviews, etc. I might even do an NXT review. Never done one of them before. I always watch NXT. I might even do a Lucha Underground again. I always watch that. Never done a review. If you're interested in that, tell me down in the comments below. But other than that, thanks for watching. Give me your thoughts on Raw, the podcast. Commentary was Extreme Rules, etc. I've spoke about a lot. I've moaned about a lot in this video. So if you have got to the end of it, Jesus Christ, thanks, I suppose, because I've been moaning a bit. But anyway, yeah, as I say, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.